Good morning. Thank you, Brian, for that introduction. Now, I'm no expert on the rise of the social consumer, but I'm honored that you've asked me to be here today to share a few thoughts. You see, I don't think anyone can truly be an expert in this space when things are changing so rapidly, but I'm going to attempt to share with you how my team and I are working through these unprecedented changes and what we've learned in light of the new era of the social consumer. Now, I believe there are three guiding or organizing principles that are helping us navigate this social and connected world, which hold true in good times as well as in crisis. The first is speed. The second is the art of listening. And the third is the complete loss of control. Now, as the title of this session states, the first wave of the social web is over. Now, the social consumer is no longer an idea in a market research study. It's no longer just a buzzword. It's a reality with real business implications, both opportunities and challenges. So when Brian asked me to speak on this topic, I didn't take it lightly. Speculating about the future can be a tricky proposition, especially in an era that's evolving at an unprecedented rate. I'm reminded of something an economist named Paul Samuelson said years ago when he observed that Wall Street indices predicted 9 out of the last 5 recessions. So I will avoid getting too specific with any predictions. But I do feel safe in saying that the world in which we live and work is changing rapidly and dramatically. If we want to know the future, there is value in understanding events of the past. For example, in the 60s, the introduction of satellites beamed the Vietnam War into our living rooms. It took broadcast to a whole new level, raising awareness of a situation on a global basis. But ultimately, it was still a one-way form of communication that was curated by the establishment. Today, we've evolved to a network society where the speed of the global conversation creates real-time sharing of news and information, in tandem with smart devices that enable us to instantly mobilize efforts to engage and affect change, and it's not necessarily curated by the establishment. We now have access to information from all points of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and from an infinite number and variety of sources, from Twitter to Facebook, YouTube, Google, smartphones, wireless, iPads. All of these work to keep us connected, informed, and entertained. In fact, Eric Schmidt of Google was quoted as stating that the amount of information created from the dawn of civilization through 2003 is now created every 2 days, and the speed and pace is accelerating. This dramatic shift changes how we all perceive the world, receive and exchange information, and interact with friends and strangers. It also presents new challenges and new opportunities, raising profound questions for companies and brands regarding how to adapt. Do you remember the infamous flash crash of May 6th, 2010? The Dow Jones Industrial Average dove 9% in a matter of minutes, and then rallied above its pre-crash high minutes later. Why? Something Harvard economist Niall Ferguson calls the power of the human network. The power and speed of our global interconnectedness is unprecedented. Social reaction to media and events can also be irresponsible or for naught, as the flash crash illustrated. At its best, social media tells you just how fast people can respond to news, act, react, and in some cases, like this past summer, call its constituents to arms to demonstrate and rapidly change their way of life.
Come out, no use in hiding. Come now, come
Now, it doesn't take a great student of ancient or modern history to understand just how significant this past spring and summer were to millions of people in Egypt, Tunisia, Syria, and Libya, let alone the rest of us. We've never before ever seen political change happen so quickly, and I believe it's just the beginning. Now let's translate speed into popular culture. Lady Gaga. Total take in 2010 and 2011 was about $160 million. Her total take in 2008, 2009 was about $500,000. She's taken off like a rocket ship. Ask her why? My Little Monsters is her response. Lady Gaga has 44 million followers on Facebook. I mean, talk about your own human network. Television, during pilot season, you have about 3 weeks to develop an audience. If you don't, you die. Need a new job in social media? Try audience development. It's booming. Movies, the noose is even tighter. Most studio executives will tell you that the social media indexes that they monitor after the Friday evening 7:30 p.m. East Coast showings will predict how the lifetime box office will perform for the movie as a whole. So we better get our companies ready for that rate of speed. And to keep up with this pace of change, listening is critical. Do you remember Quickster? The new offshoot of Netflix DVD rental business launched and killed within 10 days after listening to consumers in every form of social media. The HP touchpad launched and killed 7 weeks later. Why is reaction so swift? Well, because the informed social consumer can amplify their voice in real time, and listening is a critical principle for the consumer-centric brands and marketers who are looking to engage with the social consumer. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, companies get it wrong. And it happened to us at American Express. In the height of the economic crisis, 2008, our management team was faced with some very daunting challenges. We had to balance the very real need to manage financial risk without losing focus on delivering superior customer service. It meant, in some cases, reducing our customers' buying power. Conceptually, our customers understood what we had to do. But when we communicated these actions, we lost sight of their desire to have a voice. Now, we very quickly came to this reality and put into place an adjudication process which provided a forum for our customers to be heard. This completely changed the conversation, and in the process, our brand sentiment was changed in a positive way. We also gave our customers something else, more control. We know the world is changing, but I think it's more accurate to say that we're in the middle of a revolution right now. In this period of meteoric change, economic, technological, and most dramatic, global societal change, one thing is consistent: people's demand for control. As you've seen, citizens are rebelling against convention, against those who don't appear to be listening, against the status quo, against hierarchy. They're adopting systems that are driven by participation, crowdsourcing, and dialogue. In other words, systems that are, in many ways, emblematic of the culture of the social web. In fact, Yochai Benkler, who's the director of the Berkman Center for Internet and Society at Harvard, said, and I'll quote, "We're looking at a generation who are used to self-organizing. They believe life can be more participatory, more decentralized, less dependent on the traditional models of organization, either in the state or the big company. Those were the ways of doing things in the industrial economy, and they aren't anymore." Now, at the heart of this revolution is what I call the new "I'll decide, not you" generation. It's not defined by age. It's defined by a mindset. The I'll decide, not you generation is demanding control in all parts of their lives, from government to industry to commerce to brands. So what does this mean for brands and marketers? It means acknowledging that you no longer have control. Now take a moment to digest that. If it feels uncomfortable, you're not alone. I had a conversation recently with a member of my team. Basically, it went like this. As we try to go to market, the world is going to decide whether or not this product we're about to launch has real value. They'll review it, talk about it, and pretty much position it in the way they want to. Now, the person responded to me, okay, so we really have lost control. And I said, yeah, that's right. We don't get to control everything that's said about us. But understand, you still are 100% accountable for the outcome. The reaction was, that's not fair. And it's not. But that's the world we live in. And in many ways, I think it's a much more exciting time to be in marketing, because if you really do have a great product or a great program, it can ignite the marketplace. And that's exciting. But the challenge still remains. How do you give up control without losing your brand in the process? How do we live in the tension? At American Express, our business is deeply rooted in trusting relationships with our card members, our merchants, and our partners, all the people that we serve. We don't just market products, as proud as we are of those products. We build relationships built on the values of trust, service, and security. These truths that define us as a company and brand will not change. But there's an important corollary here. Everything else is fair game. We must be highly adaptive and innovative if we want to be relevant to the social and connected consumer. I believe if you're firmly rooted in who you are as a company and as a brand, then you can better understand when, how, and to what extent to give over control. So where have we, American Express, a brand with more than 161 years of legacy, give up control? Well, let me share with you a few examples that I hope illustrate our approach and what we're learning in the process. Last year, we launched a program called American Express Unstaged. It started with a desire to scale out our successful access programs. We've created a number of programs for our card members where they get access to special experiences that are memorable and sometimes even life-changing. Well, the problem was that these live events, we could only touch between 800 and 1,000 of our customers at any one time in that existing model. But our ambition was to reach more customers and to also talk to prospects and go global. So I gave the team a challenge to find a way to scale out our traditional access program while preserving the premium experience. We partnered with YouTube and Vivo, and we brought artists like Alicia Keys and Arcade Fire and brought them to our customers and prospects through the lens of some of today's most influential filmmakers like Spike Lee and David Lynch. Some of the results are very encouraging. We're seeing millions streams for each one of these shows. And the average length of engagement is about 18 minutes, which is about 6 times the length of typical branded content engagement. Let me show you a short video that'll show you a little bit more on the Unstaged program.
How cool is this? It's all up to you now. Find yourself in the moment. With your bones in the throne. Throw a shadow on the vine. Bet you lashes let it shine. All you need is love.
What's your favorite Spike Lee joint? I did not write this. I'm just reading from the paper.
One of the things that surprised us, but shouldn't have, was how global this program had become. And though unstaged, we've ultimately given over control and created a community that enables music lovers to engage with one another, as well as their favorite artists, through social media. We just announced last week our next Unstage concert, and I'd like to invite everybody here and your friends to join us on October 26th. We have Coldplay. We'll be streaming live from the famed bullring Plaza de Toros de la Ventas in Madrid, Spain. It'll be directed by Anton Corbijn, who is well known for his work with U2 and Nirvana, and it's truly not to be missed. So it's truly moving now for our first time into a global venue live, but still serving a global community. Another example, Small Business Saturday. It's another great example, which we also launched in 2010, but rather than uniting people around a passion like music, Small Business Saturday brought people and communities together in a movement to support their local businesses. Let's take a look.
When it comes to the holiday shopping season, there's a day for the big boys, Black Friday, and one dedicated to internet merchants, Cyber Monday. But what about the small, independently owned local businesses, the ones that create jobs and invigorate neighborhoods? Shouldn't they have their own day? American Express Open thought so, and they created a day just for the little guy, Small Business Saturday. The hub of this new movement was Facebook. Small business owners could find the tools to promote the day, and customers could declare their support. Set for November 27, 2010, Small Business Saturday launched with the rallying cry of Shop Small.
Let's support the small business owners getting our economy booming with the first ever Small Business Saturday. On November 27th, shop small. It's going to be huge.
As you saw, we leveraged the formidable power of Facebook to build a national movement encouraging Americans to support small businesses during the holiday season, specifically on the Saturday between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. In a matter of weeks, 1.2 million people joined the movement on Facebook. Some 130 advocate groups, public and private organizations, and businesses also joined us in declaring November 27th, 2010 as Small Business Saturday. This included governors of 5 states and the mayors of several major cities. The results are pretty remarkable, with small businesses who joined the campaign seeing a 28% lift in revenue over the previous year, compared to only a 9% lift for all retailers. That's a 3x increase. We put a good idea and a simple platform out there, but we turned it over to the community who made it their own. This network society, this social revolution presents a grander, more overarching opportunity for us as marketers. The connectivity and information boom affords the chance to realize the power of collective action as never before. But it will demand a deep understanding of speed, the art of listening, and losing control. Thanks for the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you today. Have a terrific conference. Thank you very much.